But kind of, we've talked about wide receiver a little bit already.
Yeah.
One of the big things that we're looking at is the wide receiver position with Lamar Jackson. Obviously, it's improved. It's very different
Yeah.
from what we've had in recent years. It's Lamar, it's Odell, it's Bateman, and it's Zay Flowers. Well, two of those guys are brand new. And Bateman, how many games does Bateman play with Lamar? 10? I would assume 10 maximum, maybe 12, but
It might be.
probably about 10.
Yeah.
And which one of those guys is going to step up? Odell off the big injury, the rookie in Zay Flowers, or is it going to be the guy that's played a little bit with him but has had some injury bugs and not been able to stay off the field? But we saw it last year at the beginning. That connection was pretty good. It wasn't Lamar to Hollywood, but it was good. He was hitting the deep balls. Who do you think steps up, Joshua?
I know everybody. I know everybody is talking about the Florida connection with him and Zay. I know everybody, is salivating over the Odell Beckham coming here to Baltimore and Lamar, them two out there celebrating off the move, and him being, literally um, drained. That we saw the clip that night. But I gotta go with Rashod Bateman, man. I gotta go. I gotta stick with Rashod Bateman. Rashod Bateman. I know everybody like, well, Rashad's not working out with him in the summer camp. Right now, he's rehabbing. He's still rehabbing. He's still, working on getting better, and he is getting better. That's the great thing about that. You haven't heard anything about a relapse or anything of that nature. So honestly, it sounds like Rashad. Like you said, when we don't hear anything, that sounds like good news to me. Forward progression is what we want for our wide receivers. And if this can be the year for Rashod Bateman to stay healthy and be that guy for Lamar, I feel like the sky the limit. I feel like Rashod Bateman will be 1,000-yard receiver this year, and he stays healthy. Because you got to think about it, Zay Flowers, he will be that guy he will be that over the top guy. He will. Um, I feel like Rashod Bateman will be the yards he will be that yak guy, and Odell's going to do what he does best. He's going to hit the soft spots, make himself available, and when he's available, Lamar's going to hit him. So I definitely could see this being a great opportunity for Rashod Bateman, and we also forgetting another guy too, um, Mark Andrews. You have to pick your poison with this offense now, and if we have more precise and concise, wide receiver routes and schemes, hey man, it could be an open season for damn near everybody. You know. So it can be like how Patrick Mahomes, had Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelsey, who else before he left? Oh gosh, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hartman. Though it could be that type of situation in Baltimore. It just comes down to them guys staying healthy. How Todd Monken plans on cooking up this offense. But right now, I'm locked in on Rashod.
I think Rashod's a decent choice. I mean, I don't think any of them are bad choices. I think I'm going to go with Odell
Mm-hmm.
because Lamar Jackson likes that Mark Andrews type that is able to just, you can just throw it up to him and he'll be able to catch it.
Yeah.
But I think as the season moves along, week by week, we're going to see Zay Flowers take over. And maybe in the playoffs, Zay Flowers becomes the guy that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense is keying in on as, okay, he's our main focus now because of that quick explosiveness and the unique ability that he has to get himself open space, but also create space between himself and a defender through that shiftiness. I think Todd Monken is really going to want to utilize that a lot, even though he's had success using Odell as the main focus of his offense. I think that he's going to try and transition, having seen the college game and explosive, dynamic, smaller wide receivers have kind of taken over college football. You look at, who was the last wide receiver to win the Heisman? It was Devontae Smith. A smaller guy, not a big body. Obviously, the best receiver in college football last year was Marvin Harrison Jr. But if you look at it, Jalen Hyatt had potentially better stats. So, he's kind of watched these smaller guys just torch defenses. Maybe, he goes with the smaller guy and tries to build out an offense for him.
Hey man, speed kills. I don't know about you, McConnell, but I watched the OT7 tournaments, and even though they just 7-on-7s, whew, these young men out
Yeah.
there playing. They out there playing. I mean, I love to see how they're going to do with the pads on, but speed kills, man. And I like how you brought up Zay Flowers, and Zay Flowers could be the little engine that could. He could be he could be the Ray Rice in wide receiver in our wide receiver room. When we saw Ray Rice back then, he made almost anything happen. That center of gravity was crazy. Back then the linebackers wasn't as fast. If you put a Zay Flowers in this style of offense that's supposed to be becoming, I truly believe Todd Monken is going to be. You know what? Let's continue feeding the hot hand. And
Yeah.
if Zay's that guy, for that week or that game or for whatever, for however long, I don't think Todd Monken is the type of OC. And even Lamar, we've seen it. It don't matter, how bad of a game Hollywood was having. He still would target. Hollywood. It didn't matter, if Mark Andrews' ankle was hurting, he still would target Mark Andrews. So if he feel like his connection is going well with either one of those guys, he's gonna keep feeding them for sure.
Yeah, he's always been one to try and get his guys involved, right?
Yeah.
If you're friends with somebody, and you're playing 2K or you're playing basketball with them, and he's missing shots, you're gonna keep feeding him because you want him to start hitting it. Like Lamar's gonna keep feeding them. Like how many times did Hollywood drop an open touchdown? 12?
Oh man.
15? Lamar kept throwing it though. Why? Because he wants his guy to eat. He wants his guy to play well, get that contract. I think that's what he's going to do, with these other wide receivers is he's not going to give up on any of them. Lamar Jackson is a very positive guy. He's somebody that, believes in people. He's a glass half full kind of person. And I think that's helps him in terms of his leadership, and it helps him in terms of his play because when he throws an interception, he doesn't sulk. He doesn't get worse. He gets better. He gets more aggressive.
Yeah.
He starts saying, all right, let's get it back. Let's do better. And I think that's one of his best qualities is his ability to, see the positives in things and be able to move on and move past it. And he does that with his other players not playing well, right? Now, in my opinion, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, maybe my favorite player of all time outside of the Baltimore Ravens organization was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was very different. If you made a mistake and you were a wide receiver for Peyton Manning, you were never getting the ball again. It was like, go to the side there. I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody in his first year playing with Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. He was like doing really well, and Peyton started trusting him, and then he messed up like one time. Peyton Manning looked at him, threw him at the just like hinted at the sideline. He walks to the sideline, and the defense and the offense and the head coach is like, "What are you doing? Get back out there! You're on this play." And Manning just goes, "No, get somebody else down here." Like Lamar's not that type of guy. Like, I'm not trying to say you have to be like Peyton Manning to be great. Lamar's not that type of guy. He builds faith in his players. Peyton Manning expected perfection. And Peyton Manning, with the amount of time he put in, you can demand perfection when you're, a 5-time MVP and, multiple time Super Bowl champion. Sure. I think that was towards the end of his career, right? That was not young Peyton.
He was struggling.
Yeah. So, it's always interesting to see the way the quarterbacks lead, but, none of these players are going to just be way better than all the others. All three wide receivers, I think, are going to get theirs. They're going to score touchdowns. They're all going to get yards. They're all going to have big games, which, someone asked about fantasy football. That's going to make it tough for fantasy football.
For sure.
Not going to lie. It's going to make it really tough. But if you have Lamar, it'll be pretty good. But